Today's episode focuses on the question that I hear from many partners. How can I improve my content marketing? Christian, you've spent a good amount of time working with partners on this very topic, I hear.
I have indeed, as a former technology evangelist and chief marketing officer for several other ISVs before joining AvePoint. Content marketing has always been a critical aspect of these roles.
So, what is involved in a good content marketing strategy? Aren't we just talking about a blog post on the company website and some social posts to promote it here and there?
People might be surprised by the volume of content that is actually needed for a successful content marketing campaign. With marketing, there really is no end to how much time and money that you can spend to create and amplify your content. Having co founded several companies and bootstrapped a couple of them for many years, my approach has always been more of a guerrilla marketing strategy.
So basically a do it yourself approach without a big marketing team or budget.
Yeah, and in the early days of social too, when I did my first startup in the late '90s, I mean, we didn't have a lot of the social amplification capabilities, and so you had to be very creative. Even when I've had a team with a big budget, the principles have been the same. I always begin with a piece of what I call a hero content. This might be an ebook or a white paper that you want to promote. It's more substantial than just a blog post or even a feature article that someone on your team may write for an online or print magazine. It's more about thought leadership and with a neutral voice. So you're presenting yourself as that subject matter expert and providing valuable information, usually supported by independent research. But it should be aligned with your products and services without overtly selling people on those products and services. In fact, I always recommend to keep the body of content that very neutral and focused on providing that value add on the topic to your readers, but then adding in relevant sidebars of content to promote your specific products and services with targeted calls to action.
The CTA, a call to action. That would be a link to a contact salesperson or register for a webinar, correct?
Yep, something like that. So whatever the CTA is, the call to action, it might be something like sign up for a partner program. So you have your hero content, so your ebook, for example. You should then build out a campaign, a plan around that hero content. So it might look like, for example, you might plan on doing a webinar with a pre-webinar blog post and a post-webinar blog post with multiple social posts to drive people to each. And each of those pieces that you create would have a call to action or multiple calls to action. And there's some data out there on having too many calls to action, too many links. It actually decreases the overall number of links. So keeping that simple, one is preferred, two at the most of call to actions. And so the pre-webinar blog or social post would have a call to action to register for the webinar. And the webinar would have a call to action to download the ebook. And the post-webinar blog and social posts would all have calls to action to watch the on-demand webinar that was recorded and maybe download the ebook as well. All of them are working together to drive customers towards those conversion activities of registering for something, of downloading some content. And obviously, then salespeople can then follow up because they have then that contact information. With a percentage of those conversions wanting more information, you're going to have more of those conversion activities. You'll have some people will show that intent by downloading or registering, and others with a call to action post delivery of that content that may actually reach out and say, I want to know more about these products and services.
So there's a lot of layers. So how does AvePoint work with our partners on content marketing?
So we work with our partners in a number of ways. This is the that it depends category of things. So we create joint marketing content, or one of our many experts. We have a number of Microsoft MVPs and regional directors that are on staff, for example. They may co-present on a webinar or at an event or help create some content that's unique. We can also rebrand existing content and co-brand content that is, that you like, that's from our site. You've seen an asset, you want to be able to leverage that with one of your own campaigns. And we might create a joint email and social campaign as well.
Yeah, it's a bit of a loaded question because I've actually spent a bit of time on this. And when we launched the partner program back in July of 2021, one of the big new features that we brought to market was actually the ability to co-brand assets in our partner portal. So that was a big feature that we worked on to make sure we can get into the hands of our partners. So really, as always, the first step is working with your partner manager to identify all the different ways that you can partner with your local vendors, right?
And then, of course, to block out time on our calendars to start working on these things.
For sure. And as always, you can't have a conversation about joint marketing and those different strategies without first becoming an AvePoint partner. So be sure to join AvePoint's partner program by going to avepoint.com/partners.